And there's no easy way. There's no shortcut. I wish I could tell you it's this simple. If I had to do it over again, I would certainly do a couple things differently, but a lot of it I would repeat because it's worked.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and the wisdom of how they sold their first million.
So tell us, Erick, what message do you for those sentiments?
I mean, the first one
and
is
if it's a good idea, what do you think?
Yeah, no. The first one is you're absolutely right. And you said the word was diversify. You want to diversify your streams of income. You want to diversify the businesses you're in. Potentially, a lot of the best entrepreneurs don't own one business, they own four, and they're all a little different, so that one of them might get hit by a recession, but the other doesn't. And so you diversify your business interests, your real estate holdings, your liquid investment holdings, your cash, and you've built a portfolio that includes your business. Now, that doesn't mean don't reinvest in your company. You have to build and reinvest to grow. But I agree with you entirely that if you don't take some of that money off the table and reinvest it someplace else, you are at tremendous risk of being under-diversified and being in the one place you don't want to be for whatever reason. Think about it this way. Imagine all the people who, in the 10 years ago, were printing money because they were running gyms.
People think, Erick, that the business will last forever. The business will outlast them. And it's very rare, right? Deception.
Well, and let me tell you, like every entrepreneur, that was my dream. I wanted to know that this business would last beyond me. And, I literally 6 days ago, I stepped down as our CEO. 6 days after 22 years, I handed the reins to our new CEO. I'm taking on the role as a chief growth officer. We just bought a company. Oh, this just happened. This is brand new. I'm having more fun. We just bought a company.
I can tell your life is going to be amazing from now on, doing only what you love.
Well, and not only am I only doing things that are fun, I'm never retiring. That's part of the whole brand, never to retire. I don't want to do that. But so we bought it in North Carolina, and I get to go start it up. And essentially, that's like being an entrepreneur all over again, even though it's within the same ecosystem. And so I get the fun of a startup without the risk of a startup, which is the best of all worlds. And this business, if I kiss the bus tomorrow, the business will continue to run indefinitely without me.
Tell us the name of your startup and what are you doing? Tell us the name of these startups and what the company is doing.
What the company's doing right now? The new company?
The startup, yeah.
The new company is part of now this ecosystem. So we're opening a second office, a second location, and serving families in an area. But we're starting from zero. We're starting from scratch with some new families, and so it's going to be a ton of fun. But we're still in the financial planning space, but we've made sure to diversify revenues so that it's not purely investment based. Some of it's based on insurance items, some of it's based on cash, some of it's based on our own investments and our own securities. Some of it's based on consulting work and teaching and coaching and other things. I started a consultancy 6 years ago. I'm teaching financial advisors how to do this. And that is a great way. It's, I started a side hustle like I was 23 years old. I'm not 23, but I started a side hustle anyway because it was a chance to not only diversify my income, but diversify my joy, my day. I want my day to look different. If I wake up every day and I feel like it's Groundhog Day, I'm not good. I need something to look forward to.
So how you become an entrepreneur, Erick, and how you get into finance?
Completely by accident. And
Me
I mean
too.
that.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, no, I did not set out to do this. I studied English and psychology in college, and my plan was to go to law school and be a lawyer. And I started working for a financial firm, legal department, on my way to study and to go to law school. And I fell in love with the financial business. I had no idea that was going to happen. And it was in the mid-90s. And so in 1994, when I started a practice, I was just brand new. I was young. I was bootstrapping. I had money, no resources, but I also had no family, no responsibilities. I had no mortgage, no kids. You know what I mean? So the risk was all mine. I was the only one who would suffer if it didn't work, right? So it was a little easier that way. In 2003, after 10 years in practice or so, I launched a company. And that was a completely different experience. And it was great. I had the concept. I knew what I was doing. I had some good ideas, but I only had one full-time and one part-time person. I had to sign a lease and a 5-year lease and get all the equipment
Oh,
and
wow.
furniture and all the space and do that. I had to borrow money from everywhere.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
a little inside. I was 2 years away from being divorced. I didn't have any. I really didn't have a lot of resources when I started the company, and I borrowed from everywhere. I borrowed from my life insurance. I borrowed from my house. I borrowed from my mom, Harry. You know what it's like to borrow money from your mom? It was
Wow,
it
to put
was
in the company. Wow.
to start the company. I
Risky.
borrowed from
Wow.
every place. I borrowed from credit cards, and no one should do that. I did what I had to do,
Mhm.
and it took me almost 2 years to pay that off and to be back
We
at
all
it.
been
But
there.
whew,
We've
boy,
been
it
there.
was scary.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's and sometimes like for me, I started my first business property. We managed to save millions, and then I opened another business, another business, and because this is what I like, I get excited and I open a restaurant in Brick Lane in London.
Oh no, really?
And I
That
lost
is a tough way to make it.
200,000 and have to get back up
Oh,
again. And
oh,
but a big now when I'm speaking with entrepreneurs or with people that go to study, say, Harry, I want to spend all this money and I'm gonna start a master in business and administration, MBA. I said, look, you really want to do an MBA? Open a restaurant in Brick Lane.
oh man.
it's
I
so,
would not. I
it's
would
a
not.
road that look every
Oh,
when I landed there again, Eric, I had to pay for the lack of space. Then I had was
uh-huh.
a Spanish restaurant. I had this brilliant idea. No, I want a guitar on the ceiling. And my bid, Harry, why don't give us a day? I said, look, this is a Spanish place. I want a guitar in the ceiling. I want the ceiling down. So the guy said, well, it's gonna take 2 months more. The restaurant closed because of this. I said, it doesn't matter. We're gonna have a wonderful guitar in the ceiling, Spanish guitar in the ceiling. So I'm paying rent and thinking that this is gonna be the best restaurant in the world. The day that I opened, nobody came in. Long story
Oh.
short, the restaurant now is Chinese, and my guitar is still there. The Chinese guy that arrived went there, opened the door, saw the guitar, said, you know what? Let's sell Chinese food. Don't worry about it. And the guitar, my guitar, that
Oh,
cost
that
me a
is.
lot of money. It's still there.
Oh God. Well,
So
first of all, rest business. I love business. I would go into the restaurant business for anything. That is a hard thing to do. Very few make it. But secondly, I got to ask
mm,
you, did you have great paella? Was the
oh
paella
yes, yes,
awesome?
yes, yes. The paella is
See,
amazing. I had
I'm a sucker for that.
the
I'm a sucker for that. You had
yeah.
me at paella. That's best.
No problem with the food. The problem is that exactly what you described. I came from a very easy business, which is property. When you find one client and you make a lot of money, way easy. But anyway, that's another
Yeah.
conversation. Clearly, the passion about food. So Eric, so we've been in this process. Okay, the 0 to 1. Tell us about because this is you share your recipe at the beginning of the broadcast.
Yeah.
Your 5 step how to your first million, and so tell us about this journey from your 0 to 1 because we there is a lot and we talk a lot about in this podcast about this that you see people on the internet with the Rolls Royce
Yeah. No.
and the Lamborghini and the saying that okay business is easy or you go to 0 to 1 easy whatever, and then we have you look very simple there managing over 150 million that might have a different opinion or what do you think about this statement, and tell us a little bit more about your journey from 0 to 1. It was that easy as everybody say or or how was it?
Um, Easy is not the right word. No, it wasn't easy. I mean, the first 9 years after I started the company, I was 6 and 7 days a
nine
week.
9 years,
Nine
look at
years.
this. Wow.
In 9 years. I
Wow.
didn't take a week off. I did not
Wow.
take a week's vacation for 9 years. But the last 10
Easy
years,
is not a word to describe no.
no, 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 no. I was at 2 o'clock in the morning when the computers weren't working, and I was here when somebody quit, and I had to cover for somebody. Like, that you're not prepared for some of that, and dealing with people and people's lives that are more important to them than their work, frankly, and as they should be, their family and other responsibilities. So it took a long time to figure out. I will say that best things that I did, the things that made me the most successful, one was not trying to do it by myself. You often hear, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together. This was one where I started selling stock in the company to other employee owners in my 30s. And people thought I was crazy. They said, "What are you doing? It's not ripe on the vine yet. Why would you sell any of it right now? It's going to be worth so much more." And the fact is that I believe that we are wildly successful because we have now 8 people with skin in the game who own some of the company, who will share the blood, sweat, and tears with me a little bit. So it's not just me.
100%.
It's being an entrepreneur can be extremely lonely. You feel like you don't have any peers.
Yeah,
You feel like
tell
you're
me
on your
about
own.
it.
It can be very lonely, and you're the
What do
only
you think
one who
of do
has.
this podcast?
Well, see, because you get to talk to crazy people like me. I like that. But
Exactly. It's brilliant.
it's and you don't have any peers, and you don't have anybody necessarily to talk to who can understand what you're going through. And so, when I started doing that and I started taking on other owners, today I own 58% of this firm. It's feathering my nest and should for the rest of time. But I didn't do it alone, and I was able to help mint some other younger, in most cases, some other people building their own wealth and building their own future and doing it in a shared way, which has been a very rewarding thing. So I think it's not about me. When I started the company, my name was on the door. My name is not on the door anymore. It's not about me. It's about all of us. And, we now have 24 people. From 3 people to 24, we went from no revenue to now close to 10 million a year in revenues and everything else, and really doing well. We're hit $1 billion under management here in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, wow.
We're here. It's a dream come true, and I'm working for fun now, and that is good. Now I can take those vacations. I'm doing all the things. I've got a daughter who is the best thing that ever happened to me, and I get to spend lots of time with her. I paid my dues. I didn't become a dad till I was 38, so I really lived my work for a very long time to build it. And once I got it going, and I found some compatriots who could share with me, then I was able to have balance and have family and have vacation and have health and feel great. But I mean, you really have to put your head down and just beat it against a wall for a while to get there. And there's no easy way. There's no shortcut. I wish I could tell you it's this simple. If I had to do it over again, I would certainly do a couple things differently, but a lot of it I would repeat because it's worked.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.